Super Chill, the Zoomcast. Coming at you live from Yeshiva Geula show. We got Shmuel, Zacharias, Menachem Mendel, Max HaKohen, Herenstein, and you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, they call me Rabbi Harry, but that's like my exile name, Harry. But Harry is actually like Hirsch, and Hirsch really means deer, and my Hebrew name is Tzvi. So somehow Harry still has like a Yiddish name is still considered like Lashon Kodesh, like a holy name. So like I feel like Harry, even though it sounds like very American, I'm gonna throw it in with like the Yiddish, like Shendel. My daughter's name is Fega. Like that's legit.
I love it, yo. It's so legit. So
they call me Rabbi Harry.
Rabbi Harry, Rabbi Harry, aka.
Well, they call me H or H. H is fine. Yeah.
And so we're steiging here, yo. We're living in a crazy time, right? Where this corona is going on and people are bugging, right? People are bugging. And so like I was thinking to myself, like, yo, when's the time in the Torah when the Jews had some sort of plague or pestilence, or there was some sort of time when mass people were dying, where it talks about mass death? So there's a pasuk in Bamidbar, Chaf Aleph Dalid. The whole story starts. It talks about.
Let's always say the English name also. Chapter.
Numbers 21:4.
There we go.
It says Vayisu mehar hor derech Yam Sof. The Jews were traveling the Svov es Eretz Edom to go around Edom, right? But tiktzar nefesh ha'am baderech. The nefesh, the thoughts and the feelings were just like it got short, and they were bugging. Am Yisrael was bugging
so
out.
Saying that the Jews in the desert, like when they were leaving Egypt, there was some type of mental bug going on.
Yeah, they were like, "Yo, v'tiktzar nefesh ha'am, v'yidaber ha'am be'Elohim," and with Moshe, they were talking smack about God and Moses. Lama ha'elisunu miMitzrayim lamus b'midbar. Why did you take us out of Mitzrayim? I want to go back there. There was good. Ki ein lechem ve'ein mayim. There's no water, no bread. V'nafshenu katza b'lechem ha'kolokel. And we're disgusted by this man. Too much. So you can't trip every day on mushrooms. It's got to have been hard. 40 years in a row, every day tripping on what's it called, Harry? Rabbi Harry? Ergot?
Well, listen, I'm not going to say what's fact or not fact, but there is some theory to say that the man was a certain ergot product, which ergot has a similar molecular structure as LSD. And so, the properties of ergot in the description of the man really do sync up. And, there is room to believe that the whole story of the Torah, everything, there was a natural aspect to it. Nothing really, l'malam min hateva, as we say, or metaphysical. So, if we do see locks in our brain, parts of our brain that are locked, and then we see certain plants all scattered throughout the planet that have these key functionalities, then there is a narrative, there's a story going on. You and I didn't crack the code enough to tell people what to do or what not to do and what's real or what's not real. All we could do is just start to act like, investigators.
Yeah, we started here. We're figuring it out, It's with the dude.
Exactly. We're just trying to figure it out.
And
yeah.
It was nifla.
But there is one thing interesting that we spoke about, that later on when they made the showbread in the Holy Temple, the Lechem Panim, there was a teaching that said, the earlier priests would, I guess like the size of like the bread the priest would eat would like be like this big maybe or something. They'd have like little pieces.
Right.
And then actually I shouldn't have done that. I just went like this. I put my finger over my eye. That's like people say it's like a Illuminati sign. I shouldn't have done that. But no, I'm just kidding. But seriously, so they say, and then the later generations, there was like the priest could only handle a smaller dose of the whole thing. Right. So it's like what happened that because they said they were weak. So it's like what happened that a later generation priest couldn't handle as much of a bigger bite of this piece of bread because he was too he couldn't handle it. It's like what effect was this bread having on the priest? So we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
That's for a later later
Yeah.
show.
But right now we're seeing that like they were definitely having no thanks. They were like bugging, and they were and the bug was that they were like not being thankful, right? They were not being thankful for what they had, and they were saying like, oh, we wish we were in a different place. You know, I recognize that thought process. Like, oh, if I was only there, but if I was only there, just come back. Everything would have been good if I was. That's.
Right, we call it the should've, could've, would've's, right?
Oh, no, what's our position?
No, that's like the FOMO, you know, it's like people, you know, anytime you and I hang out, like if someone in the group says, oh, I could have done that, I should have done that, it's like, whoa, it's like you're living in the past. Like, like we gotta just save the person from the loop. It's like, as your friend, I have an obligation to pull you out of a bad state of mental loopage where you are considering alternate realities that could have or should have happened and why you shouldn't be at the place you are right now. But that reality is totally against the reality of like, I actually believe with Amunah, with faith, that I am where I am supposed to be and that God is with me at this moment. It's a very fine line, because then someone could say, oh, you know what, I'm just going to do this sin, because then after the sin, it's all good and I am where I'm supposed to be. And this is like that fine line of like, no, like we got to be really mature about it. God gave us the statutes and commandments, and this is what we have to keep. Once, if we do our best to keep them, all reality is good going forward from that, out of our control.
Yeah.
Even if we sin, then we got to repent. But, okay, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. And
so let's see it in the text.
In text, right. So Vayishlach Adonai Ba'am Eis HaNachashim HaSurafim. So he sent these snakes that are burned. It says they burned. Rashi says because of their eres, their poison was burning. Vayinashchu es ha'am vayamas am rav miYisrael. They bit the nation and many people died. It was a pandemic. What do we do? The Torah. Moshe. The nation came to Moses. Vayomru chatanu. They said we sinned. Right? Realize the realization that they said that's like the important thing about.
So let's lay out the series of events over here. What's going on? There's a plague.
Yeah, and then the Jew said, we sinned kidibarnu v'Adonai uvach, because we spoke about God and you. Ispal Adonai, please daven to God. V'yaser me'aleinu es hanachash, and get the snakes away from us. And so he did. He prayed for the nation. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe. So Hashem said to Moshe, God said to Moses, Aseh lechasraf, make yourself a snake, right? Make yourself a type like that snake. But vasimoto al nes, and you put him on a stick. V'haya kol hanashuch v'ra'a oso b'chai. Everyone who's bit will see it and live.
This is crazy. This is heavy stuff.
Vayas Moshe, Moses made nachash nechoshes, a copper nachash, a copper snake. Vayasimeu al hanes, and he put it on a stick. V'haya kol she'im nashach hanachash es ish v'hibi el nachash hanechoshes b'chai, and he stared at the nachash hanechoshes and he lived, right?
So you're saying whoever stared at this copper snake on a stick would live from the plague? Wow. I mean, I wrap my head around tough biblical scenarios. This is a tricky one.
We got to see the Gemara. We got to see the Gemara.
So let's just give a little background. We're going into the oral law right now, which is the unbroken telephone game, which had mass amounts of humans responsible in every single generation to pass on certain information, with checks and balances to making sure all the information passed on was accurately what was heard in the previous generation. And so right now what we're going to read is unquestionably a conversation that had happened thousands of years ago and information that was told.
Yeah.
By the way, there were minor, printing errors here and there, but thank God we've had sages who were able to correct those for us. So, this is a perfect lineage. You gotta watch out with those eyes. I'm telling you. No, because they take screenshots of that, and they take screenshots, and then you're done.
Let them take screenshots. Listen, my thought about the Illuminati is I don't know who's like in charge of. I think there are a few different like groups in charge, and the Illuminati have their path, and like you have the Freemasons. Probably the Freemasons go back to they trace the lineage back to Binyan Bayis Rishon, which maybe right.
The first holy temple of Jerusalem, you mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The first holy temple. Okay.
Really, it actually traces back to the Arab, the mixed multitude, I believe, because the mixed multitude who left Egypt with Israel, they had a lot of secrets of the building. That was like, when we say we went to Egypt to take the sparks out of Egypt, there was a lot of that information and that knowledge that they had that we extracted. And we said, hey, you know what? This knowledge doesn't belong to men who pretend to be gods. This is actually for all of humanity, this information. So we're just going to come and take it and like reapply it in like another area. And like, we're just trying to open source like technology. That's what it was all about.
Nice, yo. So we never actually
that was heavy.
The Illuminati and the Freemasons, but we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Zox, Rosh Hashanah, Chav Tes, Amud Aleph, the Heilige Mishnah. It says, it quotes a pasuk, right? It first talks a pasuk about the fight between the Jews and the Israelites and the Amalekim and Amalek. It says, Moshe put his hands up. Israel was better when he couldn't stick his hands out. So the Gemara asks,
making a connection here.
The hands of Moses was making the difference between the victory.
Well, like his hands could affect the whole thing. Like, what does his hands have to do with it?
Rather, it's to say to you, when they were staring.
Oh man.
Mistaklin. This is not just seeing, but this is mistakel, right? They were mistakel. They accepted mishabed as libam. They accepted that their heart and their essence is chelek Eloha. That's to be mishabed the libam to avim shebashamayim, saying this whole being, not only like my spirit, I'm not just being mishabed my mind, being mishabed. I'm understanding that my entire body, my entire physical reality is holy, and it is God, and it's a part of God.
So you're trying to say over here that like when Moses' hands were up, we were winning the war. It really didn't have anything to Moses' hands. It really means when the children of Israel were looking at
what was going on. The Kavana. This is
when they were
Rosh Hashanah, right after a whole sugya of mitzvah strichas Kavana. If you can type that.
It's a whole chapter of our law of like the commandments that are given to us. We have to have the intentions of like to do the specific commandment. Like it's not what like, oh, can you do a commandment by accident? You did it. It's like, really, no, you need intention to say, right. I'm specifically doing this.
The example, Rosh Hashanah is talking to the example. A guy is walking down the street. He hears shofar. Is he Yotzei? Did he fulfill his obligation?
Great.
The shofar. So that's the beginning of the mission. Everyone's like, yo, what does that have to do with anything?
No, but I kind of think I see where this is going over here right now.
Nice.
Because we're talking about looking up at things.
It gives us a kiyotze bedavar. Do you have a chumash, a gemara in front of you?
Oh, which gemara? I have a shas right here.
Nice. Rosh Hashanah Chav Tes Amud Aleph.
Hold on. Rosh Hashanah. It's kind of dark here. I found it.
Oh, you got it?
No, I'd love to read along with you.
I want you to read it.
Rosh Hashanah.
Rosh Hashanah Chav Tes Amud Aleph.
I got this shas and it's such a nice discount. I realize why the pages don't turn so smoothly. All right, I'm there.
You there? Okay, you see the kiyotze bedavar? Ata Omer?
What line are we looking at?
It's like 7 lines from the Mishnah. So Mishnah is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Kiyotze bedavar, the end of the 6th line down from the Mishnah.
Hold on, you said Chavtet?
Chavtet.
Oh, okay, wait, time out. This is a mass Gemara over here. I got all the Gemaras up in this guy. Hold on.
Maybe like, okay, what should I get here? We're starting here. Thanks for being patient, viewers. We're just finding the place, doing a little tag team over here.
I was talking here. We're in Rosh Hashanah right now.
Rosh Hashanah Chav Tes Amud Aleph. So this is the next part about the Sraf. Right? This is where it ties into like the psukim that we just read.
All right, I am on the page, and let me go find the Mishnah.
The Mishnah?
Man, no, I got some pages here sticking together.
So, what it looks like. Kiyotze Badavar is like right down there. Yo, you good?
You could put it up to the screen to show them if you want.
I did. Yo, so Kiyotze Badavar.
Oh wait, I got the page turned.
Nice.
Okay, I see the Mishnah. See the 7 lines down from the start of the Mishnah?
6. The end of the 6th line.
I see Kiyotze Badavar. Ata Omer Otselecha Saraf Vasim Oso Al Gam Vahaya Kol Hanashuch Barel. Oh, Al Nace. I'm reading in the dark.
Yeah, it's dark.
Okay, so you're gonna put it on the stick. Vahaya Kol Hanashuch Barel Oso V'chai. And so all the people who had the thing that they look at it, they'll live. Nachash Memis O Nachash Mechaya. So you see that is this trying to say that a snake has like it could be the same thing, could cause someone to live, could cause someone to heal, like cause someone to die, cause them to heal, like a venom?
We got to read every word, right? It says
Right, let's keep going. So
V'chi Nachash Memis O Nachash Mechaya. It's a question.
So it's like a question, like, oh, so you're trying to tell me that this thing, you're looking at it, is going to cause them. Oh, so it's the same question we asked about Moshe with the hands.
And that's why it's Kiyotze B'davar. And that's shot in the.
So you're trying to tell me that, like, oh, so it's like, okay, how are you going to tell me Moses' hands is going to cause them in the war? And so now you have this whole story in the Bible. Moses puts a snake on a staff, puts a staff in the air, and they look at it. And now the Gemara is saying, is this staff going to be what really causes people to live or die? So it's the same exact question, which is a great alley-oop. So let's knock it out.
Right. So rather, right?
Ella, it says now Ella bisman Yisrael mistaklin klapim mala u'mishavdim es libam lavim shebeshamayim. So when the Klal Yisrael is looking up to Hashem in the heavens, ayu mitrapin, they had this thing called the refuah. So you see, okay, time out. This is crazy. We're all sick up in here with this corona. Everyone's coronaed out, and we're praying. We're saying Tehillim, and we're having response teams. And you know how Jews are like all about social media, like they're so upset if you don't social distance, which I agree. We should be socially distancing, and that's why we're on Zoom right now. But time out. We're very upset about that. But really, if we're looking for this thing called a refuah, if we're looking for this reality called refuah, healing,
so
that's what we're looking for. The Gemara is clear as day how we get healing. They're connecting the reality.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's
well, you got it.
You got this. Seeing the Nachash Nechoshes, but it's being mechaven libam l'shamayim. It's a spiritual, psycho-spiritual move of understanding that, okay, like so people say that, like, oh, how is having this corona thing is like terrible, dude. This is an opportunity to think, right? We can heal. We can heal. Humanity has such trauma, and this is a trauma that is all the world. Every nation has their own traumas, has their own things, has their own narratives, their own story, and they have their own traumas, and they're all valid. Every nation has their own trauma. This is a trauma. This corona thing is a trauma that is getting everyone in the world. This is a way, and we know that trauma is what causes growth. We grow from the difficulty, right? The difficulty
Very true.
is what allows us to grow. And the shteig, that's the ultimate answer of like that. Like not the ultimate, but that's one of the answers of why bad things happen to good people. Because we're the part of God that gets to shteig. We're the part of God that gets to overcome. God is perfect and can't overcome. We are the part of God that gets to overcome. Our mission in this world is just to get to higher and higher levels of consciousness, levels of kedusha. You can call them by a lot of things, right? You can call it levels of. People call them chakras. People call them.
I always say that the highest level of consciousness we could really get to is the ability to help everyone else get there.
So the highest level of consciousness is referred to as yechida, right? We have nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, and yechida.
Okay, yeah.
And so here they said that nefesh ha'am. It says kotzer ruach. Ruach is emotions. Kotzer ruach avodah kasha. And neshama.
This is a great mishnah.
A great mishnah. Neshama. It's okay. And then neshama is thoughts and ideas, and consciousness. Regular consciousness is chaya. And then yechida is this understanding that everything's one. Yechida from lashon of echad, that we're all chelek Eloha. And our
I think we're gonna have to do a show we're gonna have to do an episode on the Or HaGanuz one day to talk about this like ultimate state of what our brain could do and what it's designed to feel.
Now, there's a Gemara. So yeah, it's amazing what we're seeing. But we're seeing that the avoda by the nachash and nechoshes, right? The avoda by the nachash, like that. The thing was just like to get them thinking, right? And this, right? It's about, right? Chazak v'nit chazek. There's nothing but our mental state, and that's why I think it uses the word mistaklin klape mala, right?
To look.
They were staring, right? Now we see very interesting in pasuk in the 8th verse. It says, "V'haya kol hanashuch," anyone who is bidden v'ra'aoso and looks at it and lives, right? But then the next verse says, "V'haya im nashach hanachash," if the snake bit you, esaish, a dude, v'hi beat, a third word for looking, which means to like stare at again. It also refers to looking with like intent, right? V'hi beat el hanachash, and he stared at the nachash.
Wow.
So the Gemara in Yerushalmi, in Rosh Hashanah Yerushalmi in the 3rd parak, 9th halacha, it says that kol hanashuch, anyone who was bitten was healed by looking at this. Even if like you were bitten by a chamor or a kelev, a donkey or a dog, anyone who was bitten would be healed. But if it was the nachash, so then you actually look at it, and you have to actually look at it with a deeper thought. There's a lesson of lehabit, right?
Wow, this is such an embedded narrative right here.
Oh,
so
dude.
Much to extract.
Yeah, like it's unbelievable that like what it's saying. They're saying that it's all intellectual. So now it's all like about our psycho-spiritual state, or at least that's maybe the first step, and we'll talk about that in a second. I wanted to before we move on to another topic, which I think is apropos, I wanted to just say something extremely interesting, or I want to ask you a question, Harry.
Let's do it.
It says that Hashem said to Moshe, "Yo, aseh lecha sraf, make yourself a sraf," right? And he doesn't give him he doesn't tell him how to do it at all. Doesn't give him any particulars, which is different. There are 4 times in the Torah that like Hashem says aseh lecha. By Noach it says aseh lecha tevas atzi gofer. He tells him how to do it. That's 1. Aseh lecha shtei chatzos kesef in Parshas Baaloscha. That's 2. Make I don't know how to say it.
2 horns.
Yeah. Aseh lecha charevot tzurim, which is actually a pasuk in a verse in Joshua. But over here, aseh lecha sraf doesn't tell him how to do it at all. Comes Moshe, and it's like, oh, God told me to make a snake. I'm going to make it out of copper. And like the question that all of the Mefarshim are asking, it's actually Gemara in Yerushalmi, but Rashi talks it out, right? What is the Yerushalmi says? Amar Moshe. Moshe said, Ikra lo nachashu. It's like, wait, like the ikr. I'm not even sure you know. We got to look at ikra. The ikr of this snake is not a nachash, right? It's making a stick. I'm not like making it out of a snake. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like I have to put it on like a stick. Like what I do? Levichach vayaz Moshe nachas nechoshes. He made a copper snake, and that's Rabbi Meir knew to be doresh in shemos. What's shemos? I think we're talking about. I think we have a makor here for wordplay and puns. De'oraysa. Nachash nechoshes. Like, why else would he make a nachash nechoshes? He's like, I don't know. Hashem calls it a nachash. I'm going to say Hashem nechoshes. This is a Rashi. This is not a Yerushalmi. This is a Rashi. Zakt Rashi. Nachash nechoshes. Lo ne'emar lo la'asos shel nechoshes. God didn't tell him to make it of nechoshes. Ela amar Kadosh Baruch Hu. Karo nachash. Amar Moshe. Moshe says, Hashem calls it a nachash. The ani aseu shel nechoshes. Lashon nofel on lashon. Moshe was saying, I'm going to make some wordplay over here. I'm going to, right, this is a D'oraisa Makor for like the importance of playing with words and like understanding things.
So wait, when do we call it the Nachash Nechoshet and when do we call it a Saraf?
Hashem says, Aseh lecha saraf. Anyone who is bitten will see it and die and live. Hashem calls it sraf. Hashem doesn't even use the word nachash, which is very interesting. It says that there was nachashim hasrafim, and Hashem calls it a sraf.
It's interesting. I'll tell you what I think is going on deeper here, because there's 70 faces to the Torah, and we're always looking at like the deeper level. I'm just going to throw out some keywords that we're going to investigate over the next year, maybe. Yeah. But when you look at it, the Saraf is also the name of a type of malach, of an angel, right?
Mm-hmm. Fire.
And the Saraf was also the angel that went into the Kodesh Kodashim, where the high priest did work, and he took from there the coal with the tongs from the altar, and he brought it to Isaiah the prophet, and he touched it to his lips, and it purified his lips. So yeah, this is it. Yeah. What isn't that?
We talk about stuff.
I think that's Pasha in a text.
I don't know. I just don't know. I'd love to see it inside. Like we can analyze it. I just.
Oh, for sure.
That's crazy. I don't know. Like we gotta figure out what is Saraf. Like
right, and I'm thinking that the coals. I don't know if it's right. I think it's Isaiah. Chapter 6 it happens, 6-7.
I don't have it enough to get it, but
not yet. No, not yet. We'll get you up right away. But listen, I think that the coals may or may not have been made from acacia wood. We have to investigate this, but no, there's a massive connection going on. But I'm not like why. Like if the Kohen Gadol is being rectifying the sin of Adam and Eve, and he's being mataher himself through the mechanisms of the incense in that day, and then the prophet gets his lips touched to it, and that's it by the angel, and that's the same angel who purifies Israel. There's a theme.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the chait of angel Adam and Eve, and we got the snake again. We steigen
exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
We're like Galileo, trying to map something out right
It's crazy. Right? Yeah, we steigen here. Yeah. So I wanted to just zustel. Because we're saying that it's about the kavanah, it's about that they're mechavim libul l'shamayim, it's about their intent, it's about that they're focusing their head on shamayim. Shamayim means heaven, means spiritual ideas, whether it's Jewish, Islam, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, etc., atheist. Everyone has their own path with like spirituality, but the healing was just to start thinking about it, because that's really what the more dangerous trauma of the coronavirus is. What's going to do? It's going to kill like it's already killed like so many people, and it's going to hopefully kill no more. And like even if it was only what we got, like I don't know what the death toll is at, but it's horrible. It's thousands of people. The Spanish flu was hundreds of millions or 50 to 100 million people. Like. But the trauma is people that survive and think they're going to get it. And people are in their house right now, afraid to go outside, bugging, PTSD worldwide. We can use this as an opportunity to grow. we can use this as an opportunity to be mechavin libam l'shamayim and to say, listen, like I don't know what's going on, but this is crazy stuff, you know. And that is.
Oh, I'm with you.
Yo, it's crazy.
This is a message of relief for those people locked at home watching this right now, who are losing it.
Losing it.
Listen, this is mental health is very tied to these parshas in the Torah, and to extrapolate these narratives, you're a genius.
We should get here, yo. I wanted to, but
I just want to tell the audience that you've been coughing pre-corona cough.
Pre-corona.
That's a pre-corona cough, so no one should be worried about.
Listen, Yid Nation. One of the things that I'm trying to do, that I'm trying to like get better on, is not to smoke cigarettes anymore. It started when I was in the army, and then it got more crazy at a different time in my life. We should in here, and my cough is.
You know what I was thinking about? Because when you smoke cigarettes, when you eat lots of sugar and stuff, you got like little cells in your body that like have to deal with that, and they like dying, and they're fighting. There's like little battles going on in our body for health. And I'm thinking about, people get so offended by like slave labor and stuff, like, oh, you wearing shoes made by this company, kids in Philippines made that. I'm like, yeah, but they're right. But like, hey, you got slave labor going on in the cells in your body. Those cells are working hard to deal with the stuff that you're throwing down there just so you could chill hard. That's just some slave labor.
That's the word of V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, that before you can love someone like yourself, well, first you got to like yourself. What can I say? Shout out to Moshe Friedman, by the way. Those are his lyrics. He's an amazing rapper. My number one, the first time I started thinking well, maybe I could do this was when I saw him rap. I'm like, wait, in yeshiva. I'm like, wait, rap is like shaykh.
Yeah, you know what I realized, that all these ancient halachic books were written, like Jewish law books, and all these books were written by all these rabbis for 1,000 years. But there was, I think, a period of time in Spain, maybe 1,000 years ago or so, where the rabbis were writing poetry and rhyming.
Ramchal was doing it.
Yeah, they were rhyming.
Moshe Rabbeinu was rhyming.
Yeah, so it's it's crazy. I mean, it's just an ancient thing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm just thinking about Nachash Nechoshes. It's crazy. That's unbelievable. Moshe was spitting lyrics over there. But one thing that I wanted to shtel, I got just what we spoke about last time that we learned. So I guess this is the second episode. No, this is the first SUPERCHILL podcast. We should get here. We don't even got to know. All we're doing is sitting and learning Torah. But last time that we learned.
Well, this is definitely something, This is definitely something.
I'm not sure what we're gonna call it.
Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you don't know what you have until 2 months later. You're like, wow, that was a crazy seed that we planted.
Oh yeah, Mirza Hashem, yo. So when we were learning the other day with Yehoshaphat, we were talking about how the four lashonos, the four types of redemption, or the four parts of the redemption that we saw. So we saw the first one, the fact that it comes in four. Is that it's a path. We saw that the first step is v'hotzesi mitachas sivlus Mitzrayim, right? I got the.
V'hotzesi v'galti v'hitzalti v'lekafti.
V'hotzesi v'hitzalti. V'hotzesi mitachas sivlus Mitzrayim. So first, right? First, it was that it took you out of the suffering of Egypt, and then it was v'hitzalti eschem me'avodasam, and it took you out of the slavery. We see that the first step was a mental step.
Oh.
It was it doesn't matter if we're still slaves right now.
There you go.
Like Kanye said.
You hit it on the head right now.
That's the first
You just
step.
gave a shir klali. You're like the Rosh Yeshiva giving the shir klali. I think that what you just did and you connected that to is so genius. Yeah. And I'm so impressed with that because that really, really sums it up right there. Well, let me just summarize what you just said, basically, because I got too excited. Is that basically the verse says in the Torah, before God actually took us out by ending the slavery, there was some type of takeout that happened prior to that. And what we are trying to speculate now, that was a mental takeout from bug out state to being in a state of gratitude and happy and joy and simcha.
Yeah.
But did I say it right there?
Yeah, man. It's not
Keeping
like
up with you is hard. Keeping up
only
with you
like
is
we're
hard.
like suggesting, like that's the
You're
puzzle.
flying.
That's
Wow.
First of all, it was not suffering. Then when they took you out of slavery. But if we can really get out of slavery, we really get out of this bug, of like freaking out like a slave to ourselves.
Okay, so now let me kind of just bring it full circle.
Yeah.
It says just like the first Exodus will be like the last one, So are we to anticipate prior to any messianic revolutions that may or may not happen in this period of time? Before that happens, we will expect to see some type of mental relief that'll fall upon the Israelites, where we have some type of big faith. Like imagine if the state of Israel announces that we found the ark of the hidden ark under the Temple Mount, and we're gonna uncover. All of a sudden, the Israelites around the world will cry and start praying to God.
Yeah, it's crazy. Rabbi Harry, though. Wait, what was I gonna say? Yeah.
Let's keep it going. This is heavy.
Keep it going. We steigen da.
So I was talking about the first redemption, the last redemption.
Yeah, that was great. Like the first redemption is gonna be similar to the last redemption.
So keep going.
I've been hearing a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's a pestilence, and we have the locusts in Africa, and we have the fires and all these things." And they're saying that, these are like plagues. These are like parts of the plagues. This is like what's going on is a plague, and like blah blah blah. Repent, blah. Yo, shteigsesh1 mitachas sivlus Mitzrayim. First, God's gonna, as the first step of the Geula, is gonna take us out of the suffering. Out of maybe this rat race that we were stuck in our jobs. It's over and over. Oh, we couldn't do it. We're freaking out. Okay, give us pills to just like continue like what we were doing. We were stuck in this rat race. Boom, Corona comes. Maybe Corona is not a plague, but maybe it's the beginning steps of the Geula. Maybe this that we have to be in our houses is the shteigsesh1 mitachas sivlus Mitzrayim. I took you out of the bondage and the suffering of Egypt. This Corona it doesn't have to be looked at as a plague. It could be a plague. It could be looked at as a plague, and it could be looked at as the beginning stages of the redemption, or as the next stage of the redemption. And that's up to us to decide how history is going to understand how we dealt with Corona, the coronavirus. Now, this is a trauma that is across the world. We all have this same trauma. We're all having the same trauma. This could bring us together in a way that people wouldn't have even thought was possible.
Ooh, I just got the chills.
This
heavy.
Hashtag Corona opportunity.
Oh my gosh.
Dude.
Holy cow. That was a great laugh. Oh man, I love learning Torah with you because you make me laugh, and you're like such a smart Torah scholar. So you like weave us through. Like when Rosh Yeshivas get up to give like Shir Klali, like they weave you through different parts of the Torah that you would never have connected, and then deliver like the most meaningful message.
Thank you.
You're so spot on. You have such a gift. Thank
you so much. Thank you so much.
Don't hide it from the world, brother.
What? Don't hide it from the world?
Don't hide that gift from the world. Everyone's locked up at home right now, and you have this ball of light inside of your brain. That's your inheritance from our ancestors, and it's called the Torah. And I guess sometimes when life gets hard, it's probably because you're not sharing enough of it, and then your body's trying to let you know, and it's calling out and screaming. Yeah. So, as your friend, let's just keep on sharing Torah, because it's the same thing to do. Amen. And unconditional love for one another.
Amen, yo. Like this is the beginning of the yeshiva of Geula Show.
Okay, yeah.
Right? And like we could talk about like what we've spoken about before in like why is it yeshiva show?
I like to leave people confused, so we're just gonna say like this. Yeah. Right now, our brother Pasha Rabbi Shmuel is right now on a plot of land in Baka, Jerusalem, the most beautiful, glorious neighborhood of all the Jewish communities the last thousands of years, on a massive plot of land with chickens running around and a guard duck and fresh water under the house. And we're going to try to plant vertical gardens this week to take care of the community for food securities and stuff. And, this is not just an ordinary yeshiva. This is a yeshiva that is going to care for the community, not for just spirituality, but physicality, the well-being. And I hope, I'm going to pass the mic back to you, but I hope as the word of this yeshiva spreads, you're going to hear some interesting things that we're going to be working on, like freeing agunas, working with the Rabbanim and the Gedolim to do things like that, mental health things, getting people off their pills, and onto plants that may be better for them, that are, like teas and herbs and things.
Their path with pills. We're not trying to necessarily get everyone off their pills or get everyone on pills or doing drugs.
Well, we're not trying to get people off pills unless we're trying to get them on something better. But the point is that we're trying to bring homeostasis back to the health of the world.
That's why it's Geula Shol, right? From Shmuel.
Don't stop taking your pills if your doctor told you to. I'm not a doctor.
Right, yeah. The yeshiva is Geula Shol. Shol was and we owned that land in State Shumot, which was current.
Oh yeah, I like the drops. We also have a big farm up north where things are going to go down. Nice drop.
Thanks. And that's why the yeshiva is called Geula Shol Al Shem Shol. Shol lost. It was Sham Nig Alma Gengi Burim with an ayin. I'm not drawing iron, but
that's where King Saul on our farm fell on his sword and his life
in our land. And listen, we know it's tough, and people are bugging because of Corona. I'm telling you, we can grow from trauma. I've been dealing with trauma since I was 14, since I got up. I've been dealing with this trauma, and I think about it all the time. And so this, now we're having this trauma. I'm telling you, we can go every year on the date. I make a Surah Soda. I give thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I give thanks for having it happen because it made me who I am today. And even if this is the situation.
I hear you, bro.
We're growing from it. And I'm not saying, but if I didn't get hit by a car, but if we didn't leave Mitzrayim, then we would have food, then we would have water. That's exactly the
great connection. Yeah, the would have, should have, could have world of had we not left Egypt, life would have been better. So every day, even with me, I'm had I not met that guy instead of going to play hockey with my friends, I could have been a trillionaire by now, but I chose to play hockey. So it's no. It's I tell myself, Harry, you're doing a classic case of messing with yourself in a bad loop. And right now, that's a non-reality because where I am now is where I'm supposed to be. And I'm not playing the should have, could have, would have game with myself in my own brain, speculating on alternative realities. Just not going there. That's just not where I'm going.
Not gonna happen. We gotta.
It's not. No. Exactly. That's a good, as we say, a mantra.
And we should not get into this not being thankful for what we have. And saying, but if only I was in that previous situation, if only I was still at the farm, if only I was still at Argevet, if only I was still in Tedeschi, if only I was still in the Army, if only I was still in Yeshiva, if only I was still in...
The list never ends. The list never ends.
Yeah, exactly. And that was...
Look where you are now.
That's what led the thing to happen.
Oh, that was the catalyst towards getting to the place of the plague of all those self-doubts. And that's interesting.
How do we fix the plague? It was again by Mechavin Libo L'Shamayim. It was by catching ourselves mentally and being
we got to catch ourselves.
We got to catch ourselves.
This Amalek, the nation Amalek is gematria, numerical value of suffix, of doubt, So it's we got to get out of this doubt of things are bad, things are not good. No, we got to believe that God is with us. And that's a very auspicious time for you to happen to have a copper snake accessible.
Yeah.
And listen,
Rabbi Harry, can I ask you to read if you have a Tanakh handy? Because I unfortunately do not have one handy.
What verse we pulling up?
Divrei Hayamim Bet Zayin Yud and Zayin Yudalid and Zayin Tezvav. But first read Yud Gimel. This was, I saw this, by the way, I got to say it, B'Shem Omro. I saw it but this girl, her name was Shira, and she, because we're going to, by the way, are you recording this?
Me?
Yeah.
I think you guys are.
We are? Okay, it says recording. Okay, so if we're going to record it, maybe we could put up an ad. But her name is Shira.
Time out.
TikTok.
So, Divrei Yamim, which one? 1 or 2?
2.
What? Number 2?
Yeah, 2, 7, 13.
Okay, 713. Okay. 713.
Yeah,
What's the verse?
Zayin Yud Gimel. You could read it in English if you want.
Okay, I'm gonna do Hebrew and English.
Okay.
So v'chol b'nei Yisrael roim v'redet sa'esh uchvod Adonai al habayit v'yichru apayim arza al haritzpa v'yishtachu v'hodos la'Adonai ki tov ki le'olam chasto.
Okay. But
All the Israelites witnessed the descent of the fire and the glory of the Lord on the house.
it's talking
They
about
knelt with their faces.
talking about the first temple. But read verse 13.
Okay, that was a great verse. Though.
That was a sick verse. That was a sick verse. What verse is
That
that?
got me all inspired. That was verse 3. I just want to read the end. They knelt with their faces to the ground and prostrated themselves, praising the Lord. And they said, "For He is good, for His steadfast love is eternal." Wow, we got to feel that love. Okay, 7:13.
Yeah.
Hein etzor hashemayim v'lo yeh matar v'hein atzaveh achagav le'echol ha'aretz v'im ashalach dever bami. If I shut up the heavens and there is no rain, if I command the locusts to ravage the land, or if I let loose pestilence against my people.
And then
So what's
pestilence.
going on over there?
So, Rabbi Harry, what is pestilence?
Pestilence is well, it's not locust because there's another word for locust.
Yeah, it's an epidemic. It's a pandemic. It's what we're doing right now.
Oh, pestilence. Oh, I always thought of pestilence as like bugs, but I hear you.
This girl, I know,
pestilence.
no one knows what pestilence is pest. But this girl, I think she's a Chabad.
I know, I'm so American.
This Chabad girl, I'm just afraid to touch my computer because I don't want to mess with the recording, and I don't have my phone. I have someone's phone. I think he's using Wi-Fi. Anyways, pestilence. If you look it up, it means like a pandemic.
I can look it up. You want me to look it up?
No, we don't need to, but you could. I'm going to send you the TikTok. I'm going to send you the TikTok of this girl afterwards.
All Jews, listen up right now. So I'm sure you know about the fires in Australia because there's no rain or water. And right now in Africa, there's a huge plague of locusts everywhere. If you don't know about it, it's just because America is obsessed with ourselves and we don't talk about anything else. But it's there. And then we have the coronavirus. So in Divrei Hayamim Bet, which is on Chabad.org, it's Chronicles chapter 7, Pasuk 13, like Yud Gimel. This is what Hashem said. If I shut up the heaven and there be no rain, and if I command locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, and then he basically just says that we have to notice it and repent for our evil, and he'll save us and forgive us from our sins. So I was unaware that pestilence means epidemic. Okay, I don't care what you say, that's a sign from Hashem. Everyone do teshuvah.
And then maybe we can put
I don't know about what TikTok is yet. I thought it was just the breath mint until I heard about some crazy kids talking about it. Oh yeah, you're right. Pestilence is a fatal epidemic disease, especially the bubonic plague. Pestilence. Wow, I really got to get up on my English.
No one knew that until this girl looked it up. Genius. Anyways, so look at what's the next part. Okay, so if this thing
I see the connection. First of all, it says V'lo yeh matar, which is in the same verse as State Remote, that Lashon, the language of Lo yeh matar. Yeah.
What's the next pasuk in Yudalid?
V'yikanu ami asher nikra shemi aleim v'yispalu v'yivakshu panai v'yashuvu v'yidrachem harayim v'ani eshma min hashemayim v'eslach l'chatasam v'erpa es artzam. When my people who bear my name humble themselves, pray and seek my favor and turn from their evil ways, I will hear in my heavenly abode and forgive their sins and heal their land.
Heal their land. What's the next one?
Wow. Oh, I didn't even know it gets crazier. Ata eina yu patuchot. Oh, there we go with the open eyes. V'aznai kashuvot l'tfilat makom hazeh. Now my eyes will be open and my ears attentive to the prayers from this place.
By the way, the eye, the third eye, we talked about that also. But Har, in this place, what's he saying? This is the chronicle, and is a conversation between God and Solomon. God is saying to Solomon, if there's this time in the world, right, where there's no rain, aka forest fires, right, like in Australia, in California, and there's there's locusts, what's going on in Africa, and there's pestilence, coronavirus, come into this place, come into the Beis Hamikdash, and and pray and be right and be mechavein libam l'shamayim. Have the intent
Crazy.
towards spirituality, dude. Like this, I mean, this is we're putting together yeshiva now, Baruch Hashem. But, dude, Beis Hamikdash in the not too distant future, not too distant.
I'm in.
Dude,
sign me up.
Dude, like this is it, yo. It's saying that, yo, if all these things happen, boom, you got to make the Beis Hamikdash. Like you got to in the Beis Hamikdash again. Oh, and the crazy thing was that earlier in that verse, I'm doing this all in memory because I don't have my Tanakh in front of me. But earlier in that verse, I don't remember which verse it was. But earlier in that verse, Hashem said after Shlomo had built the base, after Solomon builds the temple, God comes to him and says, "Yo, I chose this place to be the temple." And I'm like, wait a second. He built the temple before God chose it?
Yeah. 7:11. Thus, Solomon finished building the house of the Lord in the royal palace. Solomon succeeded in everything he had set his heart on accomplishing with regard to the house of the Lord, his palace. Then the Lord appeared to Solomon at night and said to him, I have heard your prayer and have chosen this site as my house of sacrifice. Wow.
So what happened first? First, he built the Beis Hamikdash.
Cool.
First, he built the temple, and then God was like, yo,
How is this the first time I'm hearing this Dvar Torah? This should be the number one classic Dvar Torah ever.
Yo, it's nuts, right? First,
businesses are built off of this model. Yeah.
Because
you shall build it and they will come is a real reality. And that's, what we're doing with this yeshiva. We're starting very humbly and we're just building something with the faith that it will turn into something that will get selected with God's grace. And, and I love it. I'm in.
I'm in, yo. Gula show.
I'm in.
There we go. We're doing it, And, we hope that everyone will watch and stay with us and eventually
feel free to reach out for questions also.
Oh yeah, reach out for questions.
This is gonna get live streamed soon. First we're gonna go live streaming soon. Definitely. Let's just let's hear people's feedback. Let's get some questions in. And even people have topics they want us to address on camera where we love doing that too. Call it in, so to say. Listen. Yeah. This has been a very sane session with you, so I love it.
I love it, yeah. Amazing Steigen, some Torah with you, Rabbi Harry. Geula's show is underway.
The crazy thing is that I don't know if people realize that, me and you, when we get together, we could probably talk for 8 days straight on crazy things in the Torah. We have to cut it off because there's literally no end.
We're cutting off all our psychedelic tensions. About
we talk about
the thing about the
unlimited topics because you know what? Because the Vilna Gaon said in the future that the sciences and the spirituality and the Torah will merge and complement each other. And back then they had a lot of Torah, but they were limited on the sciences. Today we have all their Torah from the last 2,000 years, and now we have some science. So with it's like a whole new playing field of creating new Torah ideas and chidushim and weaving it together. So that's why I think we have so much fun when we go into Torah land together.
Yeah, Torah land. Yeah, amazing, yo. Yeah, dude, it's amazing. So we gotta just tell everyone to chill.
Let's give it a high five.
We gotta tell everyone to be happy, yo, and use this Corona pandemic. Use it as an opportunity to connect to the spirit. I know there's a lot of people during the day-to-day grind don't get to connect to spirituality. Spirituality is not religion. Spiritual is different than spirituality is just connecting with who we really are. What's going on in our minds, and everyone can do that in their own place. But that's the way that we dealt with. That's really the answer to Corona, because Baruch Hashem, thank God, most of us are probably not going to get Corona. Especially the kids, the young, only old people, really are in danger of Corona. And even if we have it, we have immune systems, But what we got to start dealing with is how we're going to deal with the trauma of being locked in jail, which is similar to the trauma of being locked in Mitzrayim. I imagine anytime a person is locked and can't go outside or is freaking out about maybe dying, dude, that's scary to a soul, and we could use that to grow. That's why I do the Sudas Hodah, and that's exactly it. That they weren't giving Hodah, they weren't thankful. So we gotta be thankful for what we have. We gotta focus on that. Focus. That's what I call the safari. To focus on what's good. Don't focus on what could be. I could be in Mitzrayim eating bread and water. I could have not gotten hit by a car. I could have done this. I could have. Oh, but. So.
That was deep.
We see this nachash nechoshas, and it's funny. But here, the sugya of Tanur Shalachnai, it says lo b'shamayim. Right, we know that's a pasuk. Lo b'shamayim. We're mechaven libo l'shamayim, but we have to know that our happiness and our chill and our sanity is not something that's not like up to some guy in the sky. That's us. That we have to do a kobi de shamayim.
We have to look.
Chutz mi'yirei shamayim.
Chutz mi'yirei shamayim.
Right? Everything is in the so this is stuff that so that's
everything's in the hands of heavens except for how much we fear heaven, or if you want to read it, or except how much we visualize and see heaven. How much we really, I view Yirei Shamayim as like our whole like our mental state, like our mental state of how much we see God in this world, or how much we attribute that, or how Hakobi de Shamayim, Yirei Shamayim, fear, fear is us. Like we gotta not, we gotta work on. We got to work on growing, because the plague in the time of the Torah, it was caused by not being thankful, and it was remedied by looking at the snake and thinking of what's really important, thinking of who we really are. I just wanted to quote something that we say in Slichos, that we say Mimaka Atzma Mitake and Ratia, that from the thing itself, that's what is going to become, from like the wound itself is going to become the healing. We grow from the trauma. These things, I know people are terrified. People are really freaking out. Maybe they're going to get sick. Maybe their family's going to get sick. Maybe they're going to not be able to play in the NCAA. They're going to miss out that thing. Oh, my heart goes out, If anyone is missing opportunities because of this, the bigger opportunity that you're missed, the more you're going to be able to grow from this and become really an amazing person. And that's what really makes us, that's what makes us great. You're such a tzaddik, bro. I love it.
Thanks, dude.
Listen.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
That was great. I can't really say much after what you just said. You just slam dunked it. That was beautiful.
Yeah. And it's just, I was thinking.
I usually try to get a closing word in there, but you nailed it.
Oh, thanks, bro. Well, closing word, we can talk about the fact that it says that, and this is what we say in Slichos, that like from the wound itself comes the healing, and like that's like really what the amazing thing. Sure. That's how vaccination works. You take the disease and you like put it in like a little bit into the body, and the body learns how to deal with it. The disease itself becomes a vaccination.
That's why Nachash, the snake, is Gematria Mashiach.
Oh, that's a slam dunk. That's why the snake.
I had to go.
That's why the snake.
I had to go.
Amazing. That's why the snake, which was biting us, that's why the snake was what was going to heal us. Amazing.
Yeah. All right, my tzaddik brother.
Wow. So beautiful.
My rabbi told me if you speak too long, Yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah, everyone who knows me, I give a little clap when it's.
Clap. We out. Piggity peas, Nation. From Geula Shaul. This has been Super Chill, the Zoomcast.
I mean, you're a rock star. I'm so honored to have done it with you.
Same here. Peace.
All right, over and out, guys.
All right, let me get Shlomo. Schlegs!